Are you tired of doing the same old leg workout that doesn't give you the results that you want? In this video, I'm going to show you the best science-based leg day that will transform your lower body. This workout will target your quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves in a balanced and efficient manner using the most up-to-date research. Welcome back to another video. I'm Brendan Martinez. I'm currently getting my doctorate in physical therapy. And like I just discussed, we're going to be going over the best leg day backed by science. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into the first exercise. This first exercise is probably of no surprise to anyone, and it's going to be squats. Barbell back squats primarily work your quads, your glutes, your core, and your low back. Multiple EMG studies looking at muscle activation have shown that free bar squats elicit higher activation than squats on a Smith machine, leg press, and leg extensions. It's also important to note that during squats, if you increase your stance width, you're going to get more activation of your adductors or your inner thigh, along with your glutes. Squats are not only an amazing exercise because they build muscle, but they also are going to help with your mobility, your flexibility, and it's also going to help increase your bone strength. So there's a whole bunch of benefits to performing squats. As for intensity and frequency, we're going to want to perform 4 sets of 8 for this first exercise, and we're going to want to perform it at a moderate to vigorous intensity. So using the RPE scale, we're going to want to be in that 7 to 9 range. And I'll leave a link to the RPE scale in the description below. Next, we're going to jump into the second exercise, which are dumbbell RDLs. Dumbbell RDLs is a closed chain exercise, and it's going to primarily work our posterior chain. So it's going to be the glutes, the hamstrings, and our low back. A recent EMG study found that performing RDLs resulted in increased muscle activation of the hamstrings compared to leg curls, glute ham raise, and good mornings. When performing RDLs, you can also bias your glutes versus your hamstrings more if you vary your knee position. When performing RDLs with less of a knee bend, you're going to be working primarily your hamstrings, and then alternatively, when you bend your knees more and hinge at the hips, you'll be biasing your glutes more. This is personal preference on which variation you want to choose, but regardless, you're still going to be working that posterior chain. For this second exercise, we're going to want to perform 3 sets of 12, really focusing on that eccentric phase of this exercise, which is when you're lowering the weight towards the floor. And I've covered this in previous videos, but that eccentric phase is where most of muscle growth is going to take place. Once again, we're going to aim for that 7 to 9 range on the RPE scale. That wraps up exercise number 2. Now let's jump into the third exercise, which is going to be split squats. Split squats are amazing because it's going to help train your legs unilaterally, which means that you're training only one leg at a time, and it's going to help prevent muscle imbalances. And this exercise not only improves your quad and your glute growth, but it's also going to translate to sprinting and jumping activities. And on top of that, it's also going to heavily improve your ankle mobility and just your balance overall, which is extremely important if you're an athlete. Split squats can be tough as a beginner because, as I alluded to earlier, it does take a lot of balance. So starting with body weight may be beneficial to get the form down. Before you start the exercise, if you start in a seated position, you can extend one of your legs that you're going to be performing the exercise on, and that's going to give you proper feet position. And now, just like RDLs, we could change which muscles we're biasing by changing our trunk position. When you keep your torso in a more upright position, you'll be working your quads more, and then alternatively, when you lean your torso forward, you'll be working your glutes more. It's also worth noting that when you progress with this exercise, you can also start incorporating unilateral dumbbell training. Basically, instead of holding 2 dumbbells, you're only going to be holding 1, and this is going to not only increase the difficulty, but it's also going to help with your balance. And your vastus lateralis, which is one of your quad muscles, it's on the outer part, is going to be worked even more, leading to more growth of the quads. Your vastus lateralis is your biggest quad muscle, and it actually makes up 1/3 of your entire quad. So training this just a little bit more can lead to significant progress down the line. Regardless of which variation you're performing, we're going to aim for 4 sets of 8 reps on each leg. And once again, we're going to be doing that same intensity as mentioned on the previous 2 exercises. Be sure to control the movement and go through full range of motion to reap the most benefits. Jumping into the next exercise, it's going to be the hip extension machine. This exercise is phenomenal for working your glutes, your hamstrings, and your low back. Weak glutes are far too common in today's society, and it's actually one of the main causes of low back pain. So please stop neglecting it. And this exercise is often performed incorrectly, so let's talk about form. Now, before you start, you want to make sure that the thigh pad is just below your hip crease. And if it's digging into your stomach, it's just a little too high. This proper placement will allow you to maintain a neutral spine, and it's also going to help prevent rounding of your back. When lowering, you want to squeeze your glutes and slowly lower your body. It's common to see a lot of people letting gravity take them down, which is taking out the eccentric component. And once again, like I mentioned previously, eccentric is by far the most important phase of any exercise, so neglecting it, you're gonna miss a lot, so please don't. Then on the way back up, you want to extend your hips to the point where your body is in a straight line. The reason you don't want to go any further than this is because all of the work will be done by your low back, which can result in an acute injury. Stopping when your body is in a straight line will keep constant tension on the glutes and hamstrings, and if you incorporate a 1 to 2 second hold, this will also increase the time under tension for these muscles. So we're going to aim to perform 4 sets of 12 with this exercise, and if you haven't been feeling your glutes yet throughout the workout, I promise you will be after this. Now let's wrap up the workout with a superset for our calves. A superset is when you perform 2 different exercises back to back and they target different muscles. Like I mentioned in my previous video on how to get bigger calves, our calves are made up of 2 main muscles. You have your gastrocs and your soleus. Our gastrocs are more superficial of the 2, meaning it's on the outermost part of our calf, and you train this muscle when you have your knees straight. And then alternatively, you train your soleus when you have your knees bent. Knowing this, we're going to perform 1 exercise that will target the gastrocs and 1 exercise that will target the soleus. And for ease of switching machines and equipment, we're just going to perform both of them on a Smith machine. For the first exercise, we're going to be doing a standard calf raise while standing on a weight to increase the range of motion and tension placed on the gastrocs. Then we're going to immediately switch to a seated calf raise, and I like to put a barbell pad on because it can be uncomfortable placing a significant amount of weight on your legs. I also like to keep my toes on a plate once again to increase the range of motion and tension placed on the soleus. And for each exercise, we're going to perform 3 sets of 10 reps, and once again, you'll perform the standing calf raise, followed by the seated calf raise, then take a break. This superset will light up your calves and is a great finisher to this brutal leg workout. And now just to summarize, this is what your leg workout could look like. We will start off with barbell squats for 4 sets of 8, then jumping into dumbbell RDLs for 3 sets of 12, then doing split squats for 4 sets of 8, and going to the hip extension machine for 4 sets of 12, and then finishing it off with a calf superset, going standing calf raises, followed by seated calf raises for 3 sets of 10 for each. This workout will put you on the right track to growing your dream legs, and if you want growth in general, you need to be training your legs at least twice a week. Give this workout a try and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and also don't forget to hit push notifications to make sure you never miss an upload. I'll see you in the next video.